Give yourself permission in 2026. Give yourself the permission to live the life of your dreams. Give yourself the permission to succeed. Give yourself the permission beyond what anybody else is doing, knowing that you will accomplish everything that your heart desires. Because life is a personal journey. It's not about what everyone else is doing. It's about what you are doing. And that is something that I had to learn over time with just comparing myself to other people and feeling like I wasn't as good as other people, or I would never accomplish the things that other people accomplish. This is something, especially this year, that I've been working on, because no matter what anyone else is doing, it's important that you yourself give yourself the permission to do well, no matter what's going on outside of you. To give yourself the permission, you have to first be aware of moments where you doubt yourself, moments where you are lacking confidence, moments where you start to dwindle and start to question what it is that you're capable of. And so what does it look like to not give yourself permission? It looks like comparing yourself to other people, whether that be your successes or your struggles. You start to compare yourself and wonder, okay, this person went through that, so maybe I need to go through that in order to get to the other side of this. Maybe because that person is not succeeding, I shouldn't either. It looks like setting unrealistic goals that you know you won't accomplish, because that just prevents you from feeling that feeling of failure. It looks like giving up before you even try. And setting unrealistic goals is a part of self-sabotage, because that's a big part of not giving yourself permission, self-sabotaging and having avoidance when it comes to doing the things that you need to do. And am I exempt from this? Absolutely not. As you guys know, I talk about all the things that I personally go through, things that I have learned to overcome, things that I'm still overcoming, because again, life is a journey. It's not a race, and it's not something that you can perfect. We are human beings having a human experience, and it's important that we know when we are having these moments of doubt, when we are having these moments where we are trying to dim our light. I know for me personally, when I first started journaling years ago, I would journal out everything that I wanted. But in journaling out everything that I wanted, I was also making unrealistic goals for whatever I wanted to accomplish that year. Because yes, can you accomplish major things? Absolutely. But it takes time to get to the self-worth and the self-confidence to even feel like you're capable of accomplishing those things. So in the awareness of why we don't give ourselves permission, we also need to be aware of what is causing it. Like, what is the feeling? So for me, for example, it's because I wanted to fit in. Maybe it's because I didn't want to seem like I was doing better than other people. As I mentioned before, a lot of self-sabotage has to do with fear of failure, feeling like the market's already oversaturated with whatever it is that you want to do or whatever idea that you have. Fear of the unknown and not ready to be uncomfortable with what that unknown looks like. And honestly, it also, with the fear of failure comes the fear of success. Because what if this is a success? How will this change my life? How will it, like, what will it take for me to maintain this? All of these things can attribute to you not giving yourself permission and you deciding to dim your light instead of shining it brightly, as bright as you can. I have a really good example of this that literally happened to me this week, and it's something so small, but I feel like those small things are what change your nervous system and your belief system in your mind around the bigger thing. So I used to play tennis in high school, and I decided 10-15 years later, I don't know how long it's been, Jesus, to get back into it. So I started taking tennis lessons a couple weeks ago, and I started to like pick up more on like remembering like, you know, forehand, backhand, like the positions, all of that stuff, because again, I've played before, so I'm not new to it. But of course I didn't tell like anyone else that, because what if I said like, oh, I play tennis, and then I was really bad at it? So I just like kept it to myself. But practice this week, we were practicing forehand and backhand, and the coach isn't like really giving me like any pointers. Like he might be telling me like, you know, like to make sure I swing, follow all the way through, things of that nature. But I'm hitting every ball over the net, in lines, everything like that. And everyone is like, wow, like you're doing so amazing, like you're showing us all up. But like they're not like saying it in a bad way, they're saying it like in a good way, like yes, queen, like very encouraging. And for a moment I just like started to like feel myself like crawl in my shell, because I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to be the one that like was doing so well, because my first thought was, what if the next time I play really bad? Or what if I seem like I'm bragging or seem like I'm better than other people? I had to quickly dismantle that thought and literally tell myself like, India, you're supposed to do well. And in you doing well, you're not saying anyone else isn't doing well, because just as much as people are cheering you on, you're cheering on others too. Every time a new girl steps up to the line to practice her forehands and her backhands, you're encouraging her too. You're doing the exact same thing that others are doing for you. So be able to receive that. And I feel like that's a big part of giving yourself permission, is being able to receive the compliments, being able to receive the accolades, being able to receive the good remarks, the positive remarks, and not just expecting the worst. Give yourself the permission to take up space. This is a huge world full of many people. And if every person in this world took up space, we'd still have room left over energetically for more people to take up more space. That is the mentality that we need to have going into 2026. That no matter how much space I take up, there's still room for other people, because that comes from a abundance mindset, not a lack mindset. And a lack mindset says the market's already oversaturated. People are already doing that. What am I going to bring to the table that other people haven't already? But when you trust in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you know your worth, when you know that what you bring to the table is different than other people, no one can do it the way that you do it, you feel more confident in following your dreams. You feel more confident in accomplishing your goals. You feel more confident in taking a chance on yourself and betting on yourself, no matter if you succeed or you fail. Because when you succeed, awesome. But when you fail, it teaches you a lesson. And I've had so many failures in my life, from businesses to relationships to friendships to my own personal like self-care when it comes to like my weight and my health and everything like that. But everything taught me a lesson. Everything propelled me to the next step. And the easier that you move forward and the easier that you tell yourself it's just gonna get better, this is just something that I needed to grow to make me the person that I'm supposed to be, the easier it is to take up space. And I think a big question that I always ask myself when it comes to taking up space and wondering how other people feel about it, worrying about other people's judgments, thinking other people might think something bad about me or think that I'm all that. What do I tell my friends? What is the advice that I give my family and my friends? Do I tell my family and my friends that they need to dim their light? Absolutely not. I tell them to shine as brightly as possible. I always uplift my friends and make sure that they feel like they're supported and that they feel like I'm rooting for them. I'm cheering them on, that I'm congratulating them, that I'm so proud of them. Because if I found out that a friend of mine was only staying at a certain level because they didn't want to be better than me or seem better than me or were concerned about how I would feel about it, I would be like, what's wrong with you? Like, so I expect my friends to say the same thing to me, like, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to do well. Like, you doing well is showing me that it's possible. You doing well is helping everyone out. A real friend wants you to succeed. And I have another great example. I'm in real estate and I have friends that are in real estate. Like, since I've been in this game, that sounds weird, since I have been in this profession, I have built up friends that also do the same thing. And I remember a couple years ago when I wasn't doing as well, and even now I still have those like moments where I'm like, I wonder what such and such is doing, or I wonder how they're able to get their clients, like what are they lead generating, how are they doing it? We bounce ideas off of each other. We meet and we talk about things and we encourage each other. I have friends that have been in real estate for 8 years, 10 years, like longer than I have been. And I always felt that if I do better than them, they're gonna feel some type of way about it. Like, I have to be a step behind them. And I told myself this year, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do as well as I can. I'm gonna do as much as I can. I'm gonna meet as many clients as possible. I'm gonna close as many deals as possible, because guess what? I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to have the life that I deserve. I'm allowed to be successful. Who cares what they're doing? Let me focus on me, because they should be proud of me. Especially like my friends, like they've honestly, like the ones that have been in real estate for 8 years, 10 years, have mentored me when I first started. So if anything, they'd be proud of me and like, wow, like this is a product of like, I've been a part of her journey. And my friends always tell me like, I'm so proud of you and I'm so proud to be a part of your journey. And I can't think that they're only proud of me because I'm doing well, like, or better than them. That's not the right way to think. And obviously, like, if they think that way, they're not your friend. They're not someone that you want in your life anyway. So it's better to shine your light. It's better to take up space, because then you weed out the people who aren't meant for you and who aren't meant to stay in your life. You weed out the people who are jealous of you, who are secretly hating you. Like, it's doing everyone a service. You are not an underdog. You deserve just as much as anyone. It doesn't matter how long they've been doing it. Yes, they've been doing it longer, so they might have more experience. They might have more to teach. They might have more to mentor, but that doesn't mean that you can't succeed. That doesn't mean that you can't do well. Another reminder for me is that I have agents at my office who have worked less time than me, who have knocked it out of the park this year. And so I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I deciding in my head that I shouldn't do well either? And everyone does have people in their life, or used to have people in their life, who didn't want them to do well, who would perceive them as a threat, who would hate on their success, who wouldn't easily congratulate them or say that they were proud of them. But that has nothing to do with you. And I have to remind myself again that I'm weeding the people out who are not supposed to be in my life. The more successful I get, that doesn't mean that you lose friends. That's not what that means at all. That just means that the people who were never really rooting for you will eliminate themselves, and you want them out of your life anyway. I feel like sometimes we lean on our friends when it comes to challenges in our life versus leaning on them for the positive things that go on in your life. And so I've really tried to turn that around the last couple of years, because I feel like in the past I would tell my friends, like, and vent to them and just like cry and just talk to them about all the things that weren't going right in my life. And so now that things are going well, I have to remember, like, my friends are there for me through the good and the bad. And they want to hear the good. They want to hear that I'm doing well. They want to celebrate my success. And I was just talking to my friend Rocky this week and just telling her, like, how I was just in a different space financially and how I was ready to, like, take it to the next level with certain things, and how I felt like it was going to propel me even further. And she agreed. She was like, yeah, I like that. There is, like, something to that. I agree. Like, it will. You want friends like that who aren't secretly, like, being like, I don't think you should, or like, out of, like, their own jealousy or their own, like, thoughts about what they're capable of, or just because, like, you're beating them to the punch. Like, there is no race. Once you realize that everyone is moving at their own pace, that your life is going the way that it should, the easier it is to get from point A to point B. The easier it is to close the gap between who you are and future you. Giving yourself permission in 2026 is going to take confidence. It's going to take knowing your self-worth. And again, that takes time. But what's a better time than to start right now? If you are at the confidence level that you want to be, if you're not at the level of self-love, at the level of self-worth, then what is a better time than to start right now? Because at the end of the day, our brains listen to what we tell it. If we tell our brain positive things, then it's gonna go in a positive direction. If we tell ourselves negative things, then negative things are gonna follow. And it's so funny because I always find myself picking up a book that has to do with something that I want to talk about, and had already written this down, like, in my, like, notes for today, about self-worth and, like, filling our brains up with good messages. And I just started reading this new book by Joseph Murphy. It's called, okay, I just had to pick it up off my shelf so that I could actually say what it's called. It's called The Power of Your Self-Conscious Mind. And I saw this on TikTok randomly and was like, that looks like a book up my alley. Like, I love books, like self-help books and, like, personal development books that have to do with psychology and changing the neural pathways and updating your RAS system and all of that stuff, mumbo jumbo. So this book is really good, and I'm not even, like, halfway through. I literally am, like, 3 chapters through and have picked up on so many gems, or not even just picked up on gems, but just made sense of how I've been able to close the gap further and further, or not further and further, closer and closer, closing the gap between who I am and future me. And he talks about how you have your conscious brain and your subconscious brain. And your conscious brain is the one that's, like, operating. That's the one that's thinking. But everything that you think leaks into your subconscious. So it's like your subconscious is the root, like the soil. But what you feed the soil is your conscious brain. So if you feed the soil good things, sunlight, water, fertilizer, you're gonna sprout the most delicious food. But if you tell yourself negative things, you don't take care of yourself, you don't take care of your soil, then what's gonna grow? Nothing. It's just gonna be dead. And I think that's, like, important too, like this analogy, because a lot of times we think that doing the work is supposed to have instantaneous results, and that's not the way that it works. I remind people that it has taken me 2 solid years of constant inner work to get to the level where I am right now. And I still have more work to do because life is a journey, and it's just something that we have to accept, that we have more work to do. We're always gonna have some work to do, but it just gets easier and easier and easier the more that you work on the things that you tell yourself. And the verbiage that he used for like telling yourself good things and changing the way that you talk to yourself is auto-suggestion, because you can auto-suggest something bad or you can auto-suggest something good. And those are just like affirmations or like the thoughts that you tell yourself. So for me, a lot of my auto-suggestion comes from when I journal. A lot of my auto-suggestion comes from the awareness that I have of a thought that I have in my head, and then I scratch that thought and tell myself something good. You have to nip it in the bud as soon as you catch yourself thinking like that, because it's so easy to spiral. And I remind myself, I've come so far. Why would I want to slide back to who I was when I didn't feel good about myself, when I wasn't able to accomplish the things that I wanted to because I didn't feel like I was capable of doing so? When you tell yourself good things, the easier things get. When you tell yourself good things, the more good things follow you. And again, it doesn't happen overnight. It might take a while for those roots to form into that beautiful tree or that beautiful fruit. I'm just using a metaphor. But all the work that you're doing is working. You just can't see it yet. Like, the seeds are planted, the seeds are good, the soil is good. It just takes a while for it to produce. And so just give it some time. You really have to consciously tell yourself that too. Like, it takes time. And one day I will wake up and I won't feel the way that I do. I will feel differently, because it's so true. And I'm a living testament of that. I had another epiphany last week when I went to my real estate awards. So the real estate awards for my company is just the top 10 people, the top 5 that like succeeded so much. And I saw, y'all, it really opened up my brain, and I had to talk to my mom about this, because I literally went from hardly making anything with real estate to where I am now, and I just do better and better every year. But I haven't quite accomplished what I like the next level like as fast as I've wanted to. But when I went to the real estate awards, I noticed like, oh my gosh, like this person, like just calculating like, oh wow, they sold this amount of units, or like this amount of homes, like they sold this amount of millions of dollars of real estate. And as I'm calculating it in my calculator, I'm like, whoa, this person made $1 million this year. Like, the possibilities are endless. Literally shifting my brain from, I need a man to help me to make ends meet, I need to find a 9-to-5 job to help me to do this too, to no, I can do this all by myself. Like, I can do this by myself. I can do this as my sole career. I don't have to go hustle and, you know, find something else to do to substitute, like, you know, to like substitute for what I'm not making. Like, no, let me just believe in myself and have the confidence and go after what I want. And it was just such a reminder, because for a moment I was like, what do they have that I don't have? Maybe they're a Nepo baby. Maybe they're from Georgia and have all these connections already. And I'm just like, no. Nip that in the bud, India. Nip it in the bud. Those judgments are so unnecessary, because at the end of the day, they still have to do the work to get to where they are. Like, even if everything was handed to them, that doesn't mean that they were automatically going to succeed. So just reminding myself that if they can have it, I can have it too. Let me figure out a way to make this work for myself. Let me figure out a way to do this the way that I'm supposed to do it. With me being who I am and the market that I'm supposed to be in, I can have those $1 million clients too. I can sell that $2 million home. I can sell that $16 million home. I can do anything that I want. I am capable, I am competent, and I'm worthy. So when that thought comes into your brain, transmute it into something positive. Transmute it into inspiration. Transmute it into something that's going to benefit you, not something that's going to deter you. Because you have two options in this world: to either think positively or to think negatively. And no matter what, like what you think, you will be. So if you think positively, positive outcomes will happen. If you think negatively, negative outcomes are more likely to happen. And that doesn't mean that you won't experience challenges, because we're human beings. We're always going to experience challenges. But the way you talk to yourself will help you get through those challenges. It'll help you to go, okay, what's next? Okay, like that wasn't for me. Thank you, God, for not allowing me to move forward with that. Thank you for showing me that wasn't meant for me. Thank you for showing me that I wouldn't have been happy with whatever that was. Moving on. and watch the next thing come into your life so much swifter than it would if you lay down in despair and just gave up. Like, have your moment and rise above it. Because at the end of the day, our spirit team, God needs us to meet him halfway. He can't always, she can't always, whatever you want to call it, they can't always just toss things our way. We have to come from a place of power, not from a place of desperation, not from a place of I just need this so badly. Come from a place of power. Tell yourself that I'm the best for this. God, I am the best for this. So I deserve this. Meet your spirit team halfway. Like, I got so tired, and I just can imagine my spirit team just being like, oh, all right, we got to help this sorry girl again. Like, she's just so sorry. She's just so pathetic. And not saying that they didn't want to help me. Like, spirit team is there to help us. But at the end of the day, how many times can you, it's just like, and our spirit team is not human beings, but I just imagine oh, I just wish that she had the confidence in herself because she could just accomplish so much more. And that's what I imagine my spirit team telling me, like, rooting for me, like, we want you to be better. And I realized, hold on, I don't have to come from a place of desperation and pray from a place of desperation. I can pray from a place of power. I can pray from a place of knowing my worth, knowing what I deserve, and let me see how that shifts in my life. And boy, the shifts have been so good. So I promise you that it works. Again, give yourself the permission. No matter what anyone else is doing this year, no matter if they succeed, they fail, give yourself the permission to do well. Tell yourself it doesn't matter what's going on in my 3D realm. I know that what I want is possible. I know that what I want, I am capable of. I am competent. I am worthy of. And I know that if I trust myself, I trust spirit to guide me towards that I will get everything that I want, because you get everything that you ask for. Remember, you get everything that you ask for. And if it didn't work out, it's because something better is coming. Trust in that. Trust in yourself this year. Trust yourself that you can make your dreams come true. Because I would rather fear success but go in that direction anyway than stay where I am. You have the option. Which one is it? So I hope that you give yourself permission this year. I hope that you know that you are worthy of that. And if you're not quite there with your self-worth, you'll get there. I have plenty of videos, plenty of podcast episodes now that can show you the tools that have helped me to get from where I was to where I am now, because it's literally night and day. I used to feel so depressed about life. I used to have days where I just didn't know how I was gonna make ends meet. I would have days where I didn't know, like, if I was gonna be able to pay my rent. I had days where I didn't know if I was gonna be able to be there, you know, to go home for Christmas some years. And now my life is so different, like, and I can just see it getting better and better and better because of the way that I think. The way that I think has literally channeled into every part of my life. It has channeled into my actions, what I do, how I speak, how I talk, how I dress, how I maneuver in life. It has affected everything by me having the confidence and building my self-worth and love for myself. So start there and keep going. And as always, I hope that this episode was helpful for you. I didn't produce an episode last week. I've been on more of a bi-weekly schedule right now. I'm just trying to get my systems together with everything else going on, but I will be on here weekly very soon. I hope that you guys have enjoyed my content. As always, I would love a subscribe, a comment, a 5-star rating on any platform, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple. It's very much appreciated, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.